So the Atlanta Hawks have been an interesting team this year. I mean, Trae Young has been injured, and when he does play, he's just not really that good. And Yeka Kong, who's taking another big step. You could talk about some other guys. Risai Shea not taking the next step. But the player we're going to be talking about today is Jalen Johnson. And before I get into the actual video part, I did hit 100 subs if you didn't see. So if you already haven't, please subscribe. But if you want to be featured in my next video, please comment down a question because I am doing a Q&A for my 100 sub special. But anyways, let's get into the video. So just a couple nights ago, if you already didn't see, Jalen Johnson, without Trae Young, dropped a crazy stat line. 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, along with 7 steals. And he does this on 56% from the field and 80% from 3. This is an insane stat line. And we need to start talking about how Jalen Johnson could be the best player on that team. And I know that's kind of crazy to say that Jalen Johnson, a player who a couple years ago barely cracked the rotation. Now Trae Young is only averaging around 19 points and is shooting below 40% from the field. Like, I know Trae's inefficient, but this takes it to a whole new level. And he's not passing the ball. He's not scoring the ball as efficiently as he used to. Just all of a sudden just doesn't really look like near even an all-star. I mean, he already isn't really a great defender, but then you add in that his offense isn't clicking. He's unplayable. And then you have Jalen Johnson over here, so honestly, career high 3-point percentage, career high points, rebounds, everything all across the board, and is only like 23 years old. And you're telling me that a like 26-year-old point guard who can't play defense and offense is probably the worst of his career is better than the power forward who is having his career best year and is like 3 years younger. It is definitely no debate. I mean, if you put their stats side by side, without telling me who each player was, I would pick Jalen Johnson 10 out of 10 times. Maybe I'm just trying to, maybe I'm overreacting to the beginning of the season where there are lots of players who three-point shot isn't clicking, like Cameron Johnson, or maybe Karis LeVert, or maybe Lonzo, or Trae Young is, I know, but so many players are having really bad years compared to their expectations and high. And honestly, we don't really have crazy expectations. I mean, this Hawks team is actually not as bad as I thought they'd be. If you told me Trae Young was going to have one of his worst years of his career so far, I would think that the Hawks would be a bottom 5 seed in the East. But no, the Hawks are a top 6 seed and being carried by Jalen Johnson. And don't forget how we have Onyeka Okongwu, who also dropped 30 that night. And it really just seems that Trae Young is not the best player on this team. Now, Jalen Johnson's had crazy other nights as well. He is a highlights player, which if you are a guy who can get crazy highlights, but you're not a fan favorite or a talked or player that's very popular, that seems crazy to me. I mean, you're playing defense, you're playing offense, you get crazy highlight reels, you're really young, and you play for Atlanta, which I know is not the biggest city, but it's not Oklahoma, who I know they're good, but they're really popular, and maybe that's because of the stars they've had, but Atlanta is not the smallest city and should not be the small city, and Jalen Johnson barely gets any credit for what he's been doing this year, I feel like. So hopefully later in the future, when Trae Young does come back from injury, and if they don't play well together, I fully expect the Atlanta Hawks to give the team to the player that's 3 years younger, who is way more efficient, a better defender, and is easier to build around, honestly. He just doesn't really need the ball every single second of the game. I mean, he's not amazing off ball, but he's not as bad as Trae Young is off ball. Doesn't need as high of a usage rate to play as good as he does. And hopefully Jalen Johnson can keep progressing into potentially a top 10 guy one day. And the Trae Young is probably going to get moved out of Atlanta. I mean, it is a contract year for him. And if he can't get traded by the deadline, he's either going to get a really small extension from the Hawks, or maybe he's going to get signed somewhere else, traded in the offseason. After the beginning of the season, this might be an overreaction, but I fully expect the Hawks to give their team to the young core, Jalen Johnson, and then Onyeka Okongwu, who's also been pretty good this year. Someone else who I haven't talked about this year, who is Dyson Daniels, and honestly, he's been kind of disappointing. No one's really talked about him. His defense and offense aren't really clicking as they were last year. I mean, the defense isn't as good, and the offense is just very bad. But anyways, I just kind of talked about a lot of the Hawks, kind of just ranted for a long time. But if you watched this point, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm just mentioning again, we hit 100 subs, but please subscribe if you aren't. so we can reach that next milestone. And if you have any questions or you want to be featured in a video, put your comments down below and you'll probably be featured in my Q&A for 100 subs. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. What player do you want me guys to do next? And I'll see you.